how I started my money education in the godly way. So there are two main things that you need to know when it comes to learning your money education. First thing is to be ready to learn, be ready to start reading again. So that was what I did. Then the second thing is to be ready to learn about money every day. Learn something about money every day. So I decided, okay, I was ready to learn, ready to start reading again. And then I started learning one thing about money every day. So, but before it became, in the godly way, first place I went was on, just like everybody else, was on YouTube, and I just typed in money books, and I found one, I found two, I found maybe three books that talked about money. So I started reading them. Some of them were so long, like 8 hours or so. So I was listening to you over like 3 days or so. Some of them were quite quick, some of them took longer. So, but the thing about YouTube is, there are so many things on YouTube. There are so many people, on YouTube, so many mentors, so many videos, that can be a bit distracting. And also, you can also get distracted with other types of videos as well. So that was just the thing. Then the next place I went to was on Google. So I searched for money education or financial education on Google, and I think the first thing that came up was financial literacy. So I read all about it. And the thing about Google as well is because there's so many blogs out there and things like that will take you longer to go through, but not bad. So then the next thing I did was I found an app, and that app I found it very, very helpful, actually very, very useful. By the way, I tried what's it called, Audible as well. So I was on Audible as well, learning about money every day, reading about money, listening. So but I found an app, it's called Headway, and that app actually was very good, and for reading so many relevant books, and topics, to you. And so before I knew it, guys, I was like reading like maybe 50 different books on money in like 3 months. And also related books like books on leadership, on books about CEOs, their advice on money and businesses and things like that. So so that was the good thing about learning, about being ready to learn. And but what I found out was, out of all the books that I read about money, none of them actually, none of them actually give a definition of what budgeting is. So they mention it, so they mention it, they put it as a list of the things that you need to do for financial success, kind of. But there was no thorough explanation or how to actually do it. So you couldn't actually like follow any step in any of those books to say, okay, maybe let me make mine or anything like that. So you couldn't do that. So there was no thorough explanation about what budgeting is in any of those books. I think the first book I read was Richest Man in Babylon, so that had really good concepts about money, about finances generally. And there was another, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then there are some other books as well. So, but none, even the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, there was no like proper explanation or definition of what budgeting actually is. So but remember, in my previous videos, I've already explained to you how God started teaching me about financial literacy. Okay, so this money education that I'm telling you here, that's the difference, the difference between this money education in the godly way that I'm telling you here to the other kind of money education that that you heard out there, is the fact that you see all those steps in through God's lens, with godly perspectives, in godly way. So God then started giving me the concepts for budgeting, the principles guiding budgeting, from the scriptures, how to actually create a simple one, for myself. And I was like, wow, this money education and this financial literacy in the godly way, this is something everybody needs to hear about. This, the whole world needs to hear about this. People need to learn this, and but later on I thought, what, let me actually start with women like me, so that at least when women knows things, we'll know how to teach, how to help our family, members and things like that. So I was like, let me start with, women and see how it goes. So that was how I went about my money education. And, God started teaching me not just about budgeting, even about savings, about investments, with godly principles, with concepts from the scriptures that will make it really, really easy for you to understand and to follow, actually. So I was like, oh, wow, I need to explain this to people out there to, start, coming to see what I saw, what I learned. So, I practically made my first budget after I turned 40, guys. After I turned 40. So, I mean, the thing about budgeting, we hear it, but you don't particularly think maybe it's for you, because you've been busy with studies, with academics, with learning, with family, with children, and things like that. So you're thinking you're good. I know all those things already. But after going through money education in the godly way, I realized, oh, wow, I didn't actually know those things, and there are still a lot of women out there that don't know it. So that's why I think I would like to show you how to actually start your money education in the godly way. And that's why I've created a simple e-guide. It's a very simple e-guide, and I called it Financial Literacy in the Godly Way. Financial Literacy in the Godly Way. And I've put all of these things, all the steps, all the concepts, all the principles, that God taught me about all of this, about money education, generally about how to master your money, to master your money with scriptures. In a very simple way. So how to budget your money, how to master your money, how to build kingdom wealth. I've put all of these steps into that e-guide, the financial literacy in the godly way e-guide. Remember, that's the difference between what I'm telling you to other financial stuff that you've already known. So this is not like what I've known before. It's not just financial literacy on its own, even. So it's in the godly way. So it's the godly perspective. And so get that e-guide today, because it will transform your financial life as a Christian, either as a Christian mom, or as a or as Christian woman, or as a Christian dad. It will transform your financial life, for the best, in a very, very surprising good way. So in order to get that e-guide, you can just comment e-guide in the comment below, or you can DM me